Grotts and gitz, how you all doing? This is Orc coming to you with some Dawn of War 3. This map right here is going to be Mork's Mire, going on between over here on the western side, playing as those pointier space elves, as Dire King Prime, and he's facing off against Dullahan over here, who's playing as the Orcs. Now, we're over here on the Orc side already, so let's take a quick look at what they're bringing in terms of elites and doctrines. Immediately we see the Commando, we're going to see the Gorkanaut, and we're going to see Beg Mek Wazmaka. So we kind of fun to see what the Orcs have in store. Here's the doctrines: Wazmaka's command, sabotage, and heal and scrap. Now this one is always seen, it seems to be, but at the same time this is a little bit interesting, having the Gretchen charge a target enemy vehicle. Pretty nifty. Meanwhile, what do we got for the pointy ears? Well, the pointy ears are bringing on in, well, the Wraith Knight, as well as Jane Czar and Farseer Maka, so not too many surprises there, to be fair. We are going to see a webway posted way the heck out here, as well as for doctrines, we're going to see Avenger's Shield, Improved Plasma Grenades, and Focus Shield. Two of those, again, are fairly consistent. Now, already you see the Soul Shrine's been putting on up, which means that we're going to see some fairly quick upgrades, I'd like to think. Meanwhile, the boys over here are going to get themselves a boys' hut, as well as an early wall tower, but not too shocking there. Alright, I think we're gonna, like I said, they're going to watch this one from the Eldar side of things. You're going to see already that one of their Bone Slingers is going to go on down, getting wrecked by a couple of squads of boys, but that's to be expected.
The Avenger Shrine shall send its
We're having ourselves a quick raid coming on out already, which is just so much fun for me. I'm sorry, I love this animation way too much. It looks so stupidly ridiculous, but it's hard to hate it. And the first actual military combat of the map, we're going to see two Dire Avenger squads facing off against the Gretchens, as well as, well, these boys right here. Now, the annoying thing for the Eldar is that these Gretchen keep getting thrown in immediately, so that way there's no real chance to keep their shots at range. I mean, that's an excellent idea, too, coming out from Dullahan. But Dire King Prime, in the meantime, now brings in a third squad of Dire Avengers, and now he's just kiting like crazy here, trying hard to keep his forces away from that, that much greater fighting or power from the melee boys. But a very, very quick upgrade to get the health back up on those Dire Avengers, although one of the squads up here is definitely taking some very, very hard hits. That being said, one boy squad's been brought down to almost death, as well as these upgraded shooter boys over here are taking a plasma grenade to the face. You can see a couple of models being dropped down there as well. All in all, pretty much really a victory, I would say, for the Eldar. They have lost a couple of Bone Slingers. One went down here a short time ago. But now we're going to see the other Bone Slinger, the only currently surviving one, kind of hunkering down in the grasses and getting shot to pieces, the poor guy. Dire Avengers, though, are right here. They're trying to get in on those last couple of boys, I think. Should be able to do a good chunk of damage, I would say, to the Orc War Machine. The one squad already is getting shot to pieces. There you go. So one Orc squad is down. We have the shooter boys coming on up, and this improved listening post, excuse me, not improved listening post, just a standard listening post, now I'm thinking about it, is going to push back the Eldar. Now, the thing about Mork's Mire is that there's only these few points, and it seems very, very minimal to me. We haven't already seen a tier 2, have we? No, we have not. What we are going to see is a warrior portal coming on in, and isn't that a good idea? Not in the least because they have the webway gate up here in the first place, but also because a much quicker reinforce point out of that for the Eldar. Now, what are the boys doing over here?
Infantry weaponry.
Jeez, this thing just keeps wanting to move all over the place. Alright, we also see in the meantime, infantry shields has already happened, as has infantry damage, and I think we already saw infantry health. No, yes, no. No, I don't think we have. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. But alright, in the meantime, okay, so boys chugging on through. A couple of the boys actually have been upgraded already, so our boys are now on the field. And this warrior portal is going to take some damage. My question is, well, it looks like the Eldar are all over the map and nowhere near this warrior portal, so I would not be surprised to see this thing getting beat down pretty darn quickly. But no, the Orcs decide not to go for it. Instead, we're going to be seeing the Dire Avengers taking easy fire here from this listening post, not using all three squads to shoot at, which is rather frustrating, I would think. Indeed, since they have their splinter rifles, don't consistently fire no matter what. And there we go. So our boys have gotten a nice little charge off, stunning that first squad. Improved assault, plasma grenades do go on out, but not going to be helpful enough. And here it is. So to kind of break off part of the retreat, in theory helping out a little bit, not going to be perfect. And indeed, we might even see a dead squad happening soon. Nope, never mind. They're going to get away.
A listening shrine awaits its work.
Alright, meanwhile to the south we have seen, well, these dire Rangers kind of chilling down here, taking a lot of firepower from these Orc shooter boys.
Do not lose us that point.
And meanwhile, the Bone Singer up here is going to get taken on out. And guys, there's the Commandos. This guy is on out. Pretty beefy, all things considered. I mean, only 2,500 hit points, but at the same time, you've got that nice little stun trap and the kind of whole stun bomb thing, too. So the stun bomb stuns, and he also goes into secretness. And there goes the warp gate. So
Our elite warriors will deploy at your command.
a bit of a struggle, I would say, right now for Dire King Prawn. Meanwhile, Dullahan has got himself a couple of... oh no, he's only got the one wall tower up already, so he has 2 pile of guns, though. I'm not sure if that was a mistake. Maybe he was actually planning on going for double upgrades. Infantry damage happening right now, as is infantry health. Maybe that's what he was going for, just trying to get multiple upgrades at the same time, at which point I guess that makes sense. It just seems a little bit strange to me. And the standard kind of constant wah being called on in by Du Bois. In the meantime, Dire King Prime is going to be throwing on down Farsi Yamaka, so she definitely has the opportunity to switch things around in favor for the Eldar, as will these Howling Banshees. The Howling Banshees, I can never remember if they actually are doing crazy more damage than the Orc boys. Well, not upgraded, they're not. So 73 DPS to 100, not too bad regardless. Well, we're going to see a nice big push coming on out. Going to be doing some good damage over here towards this higher up shield generator, and really I don't think they're going to get a whole lot of pressure from the Orcs on that one. The Orcs are returning the favor, going down here to the south. You can see 2 mobs of shooters, 2 mobs of boys, and the Commando just kind of charging on in, trying to put down some stun traps here and there. Looking at this, yep, the Orcs will take the first shield generator of the game, mostly because the Eldar have to cool down between all of their shots, which is a little bit annoying, I think, from the point-to-ear side of things. But all things considered, could have been a heck of a lot worse. Orcs in the meantime, the Commando in the meantime, has gotten himself stealth and then bolts off, but he gets seen almost immediately. And a Dark Reaper squad coming on out. But there is the shield out from the Orcs, so now both sides have lost on 1-to-1. One tower down here to the south. We've seen a couple of squads of tank busters. Yeah, we have one already there, another one on the way. So a surprisingly even group coming up from the Orcs. It's like 2, 2, and 2. But with all of this, with the Dark Reapers in the area, not going to be easy here. However, we are going to see some nice little Dire Rangers sliding on down here. They have used the plasma grenade, which is not going to be very, very good for handling all these mobs. Excuse me. But considering how quickly that Orc mob is getting torn to pieces, the Orc boys, the Horde relay is going down fast. But so are those Howling Banshees. Not going too well for them either. Bone Singer coming on in, going to try to go in force combat. And we'll do so, but immediately back away. Now, do we have that tier 2 just yet? Yes, we just have tier 2 coming in right about now. So hopefully we'll see some nice vehicle play coming out soon. Orcs, in the meantime, have their second tier of units out. You see this war truck right here. But really not going to be perfect, I would think. I don't think there's no tractor pull on this guy. No, there's not. Which is a bit unfortunate because that tractor pull makes them extremely utilitarian. But 10 minutes in, the Orcs are controlling the map fairly well here. They have lost a couple of guys here and there. But now with the Dark Reapers coming in a bigger mass, I think we might not so much get a critical mass here, but still a decent one. And here's where Farsi Yamaka could be glorious. If she throws out her spear and gets a really, really great Psyker Blast. Decent one right there. Not perfect, mind you, but a decent one. We see these tank busters already are very, very wounded. So we'll allow the Eldar to kind of get back in this, not easily, but to get back in it nevertheless. What's more, if she manages to get a really great temporal weave, that could be awesome as well. And there is Escalation Phase 2. Because 10 minutes have gone by in this game, both sides have now lost one shield generator. And there we go, Big Mech Wazmaka is on the map. You can see he's used both the tractor beam as well as orbital scrap. But there we go, so she has tossed on out. That very fair. Oh, there's a tractor beam. So Farsi Yamaka might go down. It's not gonna be easy for her to get out, folks. Last chance, a last dance for love for her. I'm interested to see. Okay, we have another minute and a half before Jane Czar is going to come on out, and there goes Farsi Yamaka. So a big, hefty loss, I would say, coming out for the Eldar. And Big Mech Wazmaka already getting himself a lot of good jobs being done here on the map. Wait in the meantime, so loveliness. As well, of course, that's scrap turrets, but let's get back to the Eldar. So the Eldar, building more and more Dark Reapers, and I think that might be the only way for him to get back in this immediately, is to use the Dark Reaper's true damage and really just devastate everybody here. Dire Ranger squad is pretty much going to go down, that's almost guaranteed here. And there's a Squig Bomb coming out from the Tank Busters. And the other are going to be going to be forced to continue to give ground. Although we are going to see this warrior portal kind of coming on, and over here, I think, no, and that might not be the best play here. Shield generator is going to go down though, so another bit of victory for the orcs as the Eldar just gets slaughtered across this. Secondary activation is going to pull him back in, and that will be a dead Banshee squad as well. So Dire King Prime getting home. Really getting hit hard here. He's got 18 army supply. Orcs by comparison, yeah, it's a good chunk right there, 66. I see what your problem is right there. There's a lot of orcs and not that many elves. Alright, I dare say we're going to have Jane Czar coming on in, which means it might be a little easier for the orcs to get back to this. The Triskelion, is that going to come on out? There it is right there, so good bit of damage already. Cleaning up a ton of those orcs, so Jane Czar doing what she does best, which is just basically slaughtering everybody. Nukes for days. Now she will probably still go down anyway, but a decent... Oh no! Picked up by that Falcon, so nice little play coming on in. Able to transport her out of danger? Yes, if only barely.
Upgrading vehicle damage.
Oh, right now it's super close. There we go, going on down, but Jane Czar does get out, and that was the important thing right there. So from 66 down to 22, so putting Jane Czar on there for just a few seconds, yeah, just completely walloped him. A cute little Squig Bomb down here. Look how adorable he is, with a little bomb strapped to his back. He's cute. Alright, though, so what do we got in the meantime? So Bone Singers are completely gone. We have two squads of Dire Avengers, two of Dark Reapers. And now another Falcon coming out, as well as another Dire Avenger squad.
Summoning a Bone Singer.
Maybe trying to get his tech back up a little bit more, maybe not. We're not entirely too sure about this one there, folks.
Dire Avengers await your
and that building was coming in up here, it's not coming in at all, so maybe not entirely sure what was going on there. Sky Portal, of course, has been built. Now, for the orcs, of course, as well, what are we seeing instead? So we're seeing some more Defgun Ludas. That's a good call right there, I'd say. Any way to kind of slow down and pile on the damage to Jane Czar is a great plan. We are also going to see Tank Busters. A couple of them have been upgraded already. Ard Boys with Shooter Boys in support. And we're fairly long ways off for both sides to get their super late game units.
We have finished our task.
And that was a super lucky thing right there. So calling in a wall, which of course highlights it on the map and gives it more damage. So quite a devastating hit there. Jane Czar, in the meantime, has hopped on down, done some great amounts of damage. There was a Tank Busters. And here come the more Tank Busters trying to put some fire down on top of Jane Czar. But while they're decent at taking out vehicles, not as decent for taking out lone models, especially champions. Now these Dark Reapers right here, they had to potentially go down pretty quickly. They're not going to, it seems like. Instead, now we have Farsi Yamaka back on the map, so Jane Czar is going to get a last chance. And the Tank Busters are going to go down. So 2 Wad Towers being taken as the Eldar forces chase after the beaten orcs. Or at least immediately speaking, the rather diminished squads of orcs. And one more spear will do it. No, not quite. The Daka hut is down low, and that means we could see some more good Daka coming out from the orcs. Unfortunately, for the time being, he doesn't have any of it. So Defcon Looters had gone down, his Tank Busters has gone down. All he's got left, well, really just kind of 2-3 squads and 1 truck. But he's bringing in knobs now, so some good heavy infantry to really push against the Eldar forces. Unfortunately for him, there is still this Dark Reaper group. Indeed, more of them coming on out now. 1, 2, 3, 4, as well as another 3 squads of Dire Avengers with plasma grenades. So lots of possible damage here. Also seeing a webway link being coming on out. My question is, where are they coming here? Is that the one right here? Okay, so connecting webways. So he has, I'm guessing. Yep, he's gone down there, I think. All right. Meanwhile, at long last, we will see the Eldar take out this listening post and take, hopefully, finally, this position in the center part of the map. Of course, also taking out that elite point generator is a great call, but it's not going to be too easy. There we go. So we have the knobs are in place. These guys 65, excuse me, whoops, sorry. There are the knobs coming on in. So 3,000 points of just death and destruction. Dark Reaper squad folding under the extreme weight here. So will Farseer Maka. Last chance, super fast. But there are backups over here for all the Eldar forces. Dark Reapers are just going to carve those knobs to pieces. So they're super expensive. And while Farseer Maka has gone down, trading the knobs for Farseer Maka doesn't seem to me to be the best of resource trades.
Tier 3 has been attained.
Again, those knobs are crazy expensive. Once again, guys, 200 power, 250 rec. Not cheap at all. Another watt tower up in the meantime, and what kind of tier is he on right now? So tier 4 already.
You can relocate a base structure.
And the mech is just throwing out some scraps so his boys can get upgraded. So we have an upgraded squad of Tank Busters here. Another wall being called on in. Meanwhile, the north, well, this Bone Singer's going to decap and might even go down. We'll see. Alright, maybe not. We'll see. Who's inside this bad boy right now, too? So, okay, so he's got both boys as well as shooter boys inside. Not sure perhaps it's the best idea to put the shooter boys in there as well, but I guess he was trying to chain stun. Might be the best plan under the circumstances. And finally, we're going to see some, oh my gosh, I can't think what they're called, Spectres coming out. Dark Spectres? Spectres.
Relocating.
But these Dire Avengers are going to go down. Poor guys are going to get slaughtered.
A fire prism answers the call.
And more knobs been called right back in. So these guys are not willing to be slain forever. And, yep, Shadow Spectres, excuse me. So Shadow Spectres didn't get a ton of play. They were getting a bit of an upgrade, though, on the most recent patch. Fire Prism has gone out in the meantime as well, so this guy is going to be a nice way of keeping those boys at bay. So the boys never become men, if you catch my drift. Meanwhile, at the north, though, teleporting up here to the northern side of things, the Fire Prisms, the Shadow Spectre, and a couple of attendant infantry units looking maybe to push and take out this wall tower. Then again, maybe not. Shadow Spectres are going to back away, going to not be able to take out that wall tower just before it goes down, so that's unfortunate right there. Dark Reapers, in the meantime, are taking some really hefty hits. Yep, might even go down, not sure. Alright, Shadow Spectres will continue to loft a lot of rounds, though, down range at that truck, and once that truck goes down, there goes a lot of mobility, but no, the Shadow Spectres instead get slaughtered, stunned, and brought on down. Will we see Jane Zarth thrown into the middle here, though, or not? My guess is no, and that would be the right call under the circumstances.
A base structure is available to relocate. Warrior portal is under attack.
Alrighty, and with that, there goes all the extra infantry that's going to be coming on out. And an Eldritch Storm being called in. That's a unique decision. I was not expecting that. Jane Zarth, in the meantime, though, is inside the Orc forces, and she is kicking ass and taking names, my friend. A quick reminder, of course, the Eldritch Storm can kind of go and control that bad boy right there, and it's being controlled. There is going to go the War Truck. And while Jane Zarth has gone down, taking out the truck is a nice first step. Now, we also have this Fire Prism locking rounds downrange, and he should really back away. His shields are gone, and Tank Busters are gone as well. But with knobs in the area, it still possibly might be a dead Fire Prism. Now, Big Mech Wazmaka, well, he is trying to engage, excuse me, trying to engage against the kind of the Eldar forces hanging out in the back, but not going to happen.
Warrior portal in transit.
And new squad of Shadow Spectres coming on out, going to take out the Commando, and likely going to be able to take out Wazmaka as well, but looks like instead they're going to focus instead on this truck. So that's death and destruction. And actually, they really could pick up what Big Mech Wazmaka.
Establishing a webway connection.
And that's what they're going to do. Keep in mind, of course, these guys do a lot more to heavy armor, and I don't know, he technically has, no, he just has normal armor. Alright, but he's going to go down anyway. So finally, at long last, the Orcs are going to be losing some forces here and there. Trying to figure out what the heck that thing really is. Watt Tower not getting repaired after the assault from before will go down, and that is going to open up this northern, I would say, northern attack path for Dire King Prime. Shadow Spectres are going to take advantage of their high mobility, though, going to kind of get in and around. There goes one of them already. But they're going to do decently well, I would say. This Fire Prism really should get repaired, but they don't seem too concerned about that. Instead, he's going to take tons and tons of firepower. Aggression trying to sneak on by, not going to go well, though, and that is death. And geez, those Shadow Spectres are super, super fragile. Of course, again, barely 1,000 hit points. Death Copt is coming on out. That's an interesting call. And that is going to be another dead squad of Shadow Spectres. But that turret, what's he got left? Okay, so about 1/6, 1/7 of his health. Farseer Maka. Temporal Weave and the Psycho thing as well. Pretty darn good, except that she uses Temporal Weave right as she tried to explode that spear. So I think the animations canceled each other out, and she can still see, as you can see, Psychic Blast is still a possibility, and this Death Copter is surviving with 2 hit points. So not so wonderful. But in the meantime, of course, we still do have a couple more Fire Prisms, and now 2 Fire Prisms, the third one's getting repaired. That's a good call finally there. There's barely any infantry. So that's a bit of a problem, I would argue, for the Eldar, but not overwhelmingly so.
Dark Reapers answer the call.
Quick look at the Orcs, what they've had. A couple of Ard Boys, got some Tank Busters, Defcon Luda still. Alright, if the Eldar push with this, it would not be an immediately easy fight, but I would still argue that you could do pretty darn well, even just with what he's got on hand. Now, these guys are going to get wrecked. You get like 2 shots off, and then as soon as that tower starts beginning to fire again, it'd be insane, but slow. And luckily enough, they have the Fire Prisms in support, and with that, that is a ooh, wow, interesting. So that's a turret going down, and Gorkonauts on the field. Oh jeez, okay.
A webway gate is ready to serve us.
That is a little bit scary. I didn't even thought about that. That since the Eldar have used their call-in, that the Gorkonaut was going to come in before it's even possible. So again, guys, Gorkonaut, all that Daka, which is kind of just all that kind of shootiness in the front of it, as well as Rocket Fist, which goes, slams a rock into the ground, causes damage and stun. Of course, at that point, he is not able to do any kind of melee. Down in the south, the Orcs have tried to aggress it against that turret. And actually now this Fire Prism is probably going to go down. All those Tank Busters are doing tons of work towards it. 1 or 2 more rounds, and that's going to be... There it goes. So well done there. Bone Slinger's going to go down as well. All that's left now for the Eldar. Farseer Maka. A couple of Dark Reapers. And the Fire Prisms. Now, to be fair, the Fire Prisms could be rather good. But if they're kept at range, that's the thing. And here comes Jane Czar, which means that the Orcs are going to pack it in for the moment because you do not want to engage into that, especially while Farseer Maka is up. And geez, that's such a long jump! So Jane Czar uses her leap ability into combat and just does incredible amounts of damage. Let me see right there again. There we go. Rocket Fist going to come on in soon. How nifty that is, right? Now, I'm pretty sure, nope, he doesn't have the repair Gretchen. No, that's just the Mork or not.
Summoning Wraith Blades.
Ooh.
Summoning Dark Reapers.
And Wraith Blades and tons of Dark Reapers. One that we have not been focusing on at all is the resource spent from either side, and seeing the mass of Dark Reapers that are going to be coming on in for the Eldar, you kind of have to wonder what he was doing with all that stuff in the first place. Also noticing that one of these is not, in fact,
Dark Reapers
a fire prism. It's always kind of hard to differentiate until you see the length of the barrel instead, so rather good there. We haven't been looking at the upgrades at all, but it's fair to say that the Eldar are now pushing and aggressing rather easily onto the power core. Now, as of always, the power core can be gone and go put into a shelter, but he's not going to do that just yet. And with all of those tank busters and all that DACA in the meantime, I'm not entirely sure why he would go for it in the first place. So pretty darn good there, I would say. Big Mech Wazmaka, of course, has been back on the field for quite a bit of time, and using Jane Czar against her, her very light amount of HP against her. She can't even leap out of combat, can she? Nope. 30 seconds extra to deploy. Now, Farseer Maka is in here, and she's going to have the ability to do some really great damage with her Psyker Blast. Temporal Weave as well, going to go and lock down a good chunk of these forces. Oh, that DAC is going to come on in, though, and that's the problem. But the Wraith Blades, I always kind of forget about this. The Wraith Blades had that Wraith charge, so they taunt it, which means that whole bit of DACA is going to go down quite a bit. And the Wraith Blades, my friend, well, the Wraith Blades do 290 DPS to heavy armor. And that is all a Gorkanaut is, so great decision there.
Dark Reapers at your command.
And I think that's going to be the death of the Morkanaut. No, it gets saved just at the last second by Big Mech Wazmaka. Last chance for the nifty little Farseer Maka. The Rocket Fist bringing on in that rock from orbit. And there's another Eldritch Storm being called on in. My question is, will it go down after the... It will. Alright, and there goes the Morkanaut, so he's got only a little bit of health left, and that will be the death of him, I dare say. So shockingly, despite having 10,000 hit points, the Morkanaut's going to go down anyway, erupt in a conflagration of almost epic proportions. And here comes, though, a rock storm being called on in by the Orcs. Eldar are going to get devastated in the meantime because of it. Dark Reaper's going on down. And I think he's just going to go and sack out his own... Yep, there we go. Ooh, who's the beacon for this one?
A Bone Singer, ready to serve.
Oh, right, that was a Dark Reaper squad. Interesting.
A Bone Singer answers the call.
And despite the fact that his power core had taken some damage, he's been kind of fixed back up quite a bit. Was that really all the work from aggressions just now? I'm not too sure. We have a Killican coming on out in favor of the Orcs, and that's probably a good play.
Dark Reapers at your
Getting some more anti-vehicle is a good call at this stage of the game here, especially since those fire prisms are causing such an issue for him. And all things considered, the Killicans aren't terrible either. I mean, overall.
Salvaging, done.
So right, so now of course he can get those 6 rockets. He's got that whole charge system, and the second that he gets that, he lets them all off super fast, and that's going to be a nice way of keeping these fire prisms back and away. Now, more Wraith Blades being called on in for the Eldar forces, and seeing how well they went last time with that Wraith charge, kind of hard to disagree with that. Of course, with both the Killican as well as the Tank Busters, might be a little bit difficult to charge on in successfully. This guy, in the meantime, pretty fantastic. Soul Recall, always kind of nice. Back to the nearest infinity portal. I can never really find that. Ah, here we go.
A power generator is under fire.
Alright. Meantime, though, a small bit of an engagement over here in the southern part of the map. Dark Reapers are facing off against some Ard boys. Dark Reapers are going to get hit in the north, but meanwhile in the south, there's more and more damage being levied on them by this other squad. I will not be surprised to see a dead boy squad here. So the Dark Reapers might be going after that shortly.
Our forces will be recalled.
Death Dread going to go and take out this generator. Good decision there. Obviously, just bash it a little bit. And Dark Reapers are going to go down. Doesn't matter how nice their headgear is. I didn't even notice the power down here, excuse me, the turret down here in the southwest has been destroyed, so now both sides have a way to sneak into their enemy's base and take things out that are very, very personal, near and dear to their hearts. Take a quick look at what they've got. So, Death Dreads, Killicans for days, Tank Busters for days, and more boys being called on in. The Eldar have a slight army advantage for the moment. It's only when this faction comes back through, though. Fire Prism, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Complete.
Now his Shadow Spectre's back out in the field again. Alright, so I guess he's very concerned about the heavier vehicles of his opponent, but those Shadow Spectres, as I said before, are super fragile, so it's often very, very difficult to stay on the field for any length of time.
Relocating webway gate.
However, taking out that building is going to do a decent amount of economic damage overall. Although the Shadow Spectres are going to pay for it with their lives, I dare say. The Wraith Blade is just going to sit there and go into nice personal combat with the Death Dreads. Might be able to take out one of them, but there's so much firepower being levied at them, it's going to be difficult to think how well they're going to stand in the long term. Kind of wondering right now, too, might it not be better to build some Wraith Guard as opposed to Wraith Blades? I understand the melee is going to definitely help out the Eldar army, seeing at this personal time. There is just so much possible melee coming out from the orcs. Bone Sing, of course, does go down. And now, once again, so crazy amounts of everything is on the field. Another couple of minutes yet before the Gorgonaut can come back in, but the Commando's got 20 seconds. 141 army supply over to 82. And the Eldar begin to float a little bit, but I think here we go. We're going to have ourselves a nice little mad dash from the northern side.
Shall join our host. Webway gate in transit.
Janezar is now to the south. As she starts making an aggressive move, we'll see some really deadly going on here. But in the meantime, all these boys are going to charge, and these boys are going to get slaughtered, I think. They're not even paying attention. There's movement, not even doing like an actual attack order. There, guys. So they're dead. You know, Janezar in the south is just kind of stalling some more, using both Leap as well as the Triskelion. But the Triskelion is not going to do any damage. She's going to go down first. And there it is. Now they're going to loft rounds down at that power core. The power core is going down to 4,800, 4,400. It's dropping super fast, and they've got to go and toss up that power shield core. But he's not the power for it, so guys, that's going to be pretty much game, I think. Temporal Weave. Yep, Temporal Weave. And that is a great way to end the game. So very well done, Dire King Prime. Getting knocked around a lot of the engagements, but winning the strategic battle. I guess that was the point of the entire map. So well done there. Unfortunate for Dullahan. He's not had a lot of luck on this particular channel. But regardless, well played to both players. Well, for the Orcs, for their kind of aggression out in the field and their ability to kind of maintain the momentum. But then for the Eldar, for the strategic thinking, well done to both players, but congratulations to Dire King Prime for taking the big W. That's going to do it for me today, folks. If you have comments, like, or you want to subscribe, hit me up below. If you have a game you want me to check out, email me at conorgaming@gmail.com. And check out some of the other playlists on this channel. But for right now, see you guys later. Take it easy.